to the ramen house. Please take off your shoes before you enter the dojo. Hype! It's September 22nd, NFL Week 3. And this podcast, we're going to break down NFL matchups for this entire slate, fantasy picks, and updates and injuries along the way. And I have a couple locks for parlay picks. I'm currently 1-1 with parlay picks. This week, I took an L on a lot of my bets over the Minnesota Vikings. Imagine, right? Kirk Cousins, putting the money on Kirk Cousins to cover the spreads. Terrible picks, but before we get into that, I like to address the elephant in the room. This NFL week have been what the worst week as far as players and injuries, season-ending injuries. Like, no one wants to see a player get injured. A lot of you, play fantasy football. Let me know in the comments on what injury probably caused you to lose or just rose your draft stock rose your draft stock with your team. Let me know in the comment section below. But like this week, man, I can only describe it as the red wedding from the Game of Thrones, because nobody made it out of this. Nobody made it out of this good. Like, let's go straight into the MetLife Massacre, the 49ers and the Jets matchup. Before the game even started, numerous players were complaining about the conditions of the field. And, at that point, you play the game. And during that game, you seen Nick Bosa, second year D lineman, go out for the year, ACL. Solomon Thomas, ACL, gone for the year. Jimmy G had an ankle sprain. You have Rasheem Mostert, who ripped off a 80-yard touchdown run for the first play of the game. He gets an MCL sprain in his knee. Tevin Coleman is banged up. On the other side with the Jets, you had Bashard Perriman. He took an injury with the ankle. Their center, Connor McGovern, another injury. And these things are just piling up. And going from there, it's just like that field, something's got to change with that, because even after the game, you've seen Kyle Shanahan mention it, even Armstead mentioned it as far as the field conditions. And this week, the Niners are playing in that same stadium versus the Giants. Okay? But before we get to that point, I like to point out a couple more injuries that was devastating. We lost Saquon Barkley, ACL, for the year. Probably the highest running back with the highest projected ceiling, I would say, in fantasy sports. Not even that, for the Giants, that's your best player. Gone for the season. He's gone. Sterling Shepard, he's injured. He has a toe injury. He's gonna miss some time. So, he'll be back, And then of all of that, you go to the Seahawks. Season-ending injury for Bruce Irvin, gone for the season, and he's a big piece into that Seahawks defense, who got those additions with Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner. Then we move on to the Vikings, which to me is just like, man, this is heartbreaking, because they're already 0-2. They're not looking good, and then you lose Anthony Barr for the season. Another season-ending injuries, and it's week 2 of the NFL. And as this week this NFL season is a lot different than any other NFL season we've had in the past. There's no pregame due to COVID and everything going into ensure player safety and ensure the season. And these matchups, the first matchup we're going to start with is Thursday Night Football. We have the Miami Dolphins going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right now, betting lines got the Jaguars -3 with an over-under of 48 points. Right now, I rock with Minshew Mania. This guy is 75% passing, completion rating, 6 TDs, 2 interceptions. Week 1 against the Colts, it was a tough loss. Then last week versus the Titans, another tough loss. This is a spot where Jaguars being at home, I see them bouncing back. You even go to their run game right now, which is stout. You have Robinson. Okay, after they let Leonard Fournette go, Robinson got 164 yards with the touchdown over these two games. Keenan Cole, 11 targets? On 11 targets, he's caught the ball 12 times, has 105 yards with two touchdowns. I mean, right there, like Minshew Mania is real. I'm all in as far as the Jags go. Um, may not be my lock of the week just because that those Thursday games are always a little tricky. It's like the twilight zone of football. You know, it's Thursday night football, short week for them. On the other side, you got the Dolphins right now, who top player may be called Mike Gesicki, okay? A tight end. Devontae Parker's not playing, injury. You know, Fitzmagic, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's going to do what needs to be done, but they need help. They not looking good on defense. They just lost another corner. Byron, he's gone. And you got a rookie stepping up to take that place, which obviously you've seen what Stephon Diggs did to them the other day. Torched them. Like, torched them completely. On the Dolphins side, it's their defensive line isn't very strong. So I mean, I think that's where the Jags run game is going to be solid, and it seems like the Miami Dolphins as a team right now is like that's the preseason team you want to play. Like that's been a preseason game. You've seen what Tannehill and you've seen what Josh Allen was able to do. It's a team where you can kind of run your offense. And overall, I like the Jags in that game. I mean, I like the Jags a lot in that game, just with how things are going. Moving on. So we have the San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants in MetLife Stadium. The 49ers are given 4.5 point favored with an implied total of 41 over under. To me, it's not a sexy pick just because of both of these teams are banged up. Jimmy G's not going to be playing. You're going to have second-string quarterback Nick Mullins going against Daniel Jones and a Giants team with no Saquon, which I'm not sure, I'm hoping by Wednesday or Thursday they finalize, that deal with Devontae Freeman, because the Giants right now are relying on Gallman and Deion Lewis. And for San Francisco, with it being banged up offensively through receivers, your quarterback's not playing. You're down to your third-string running back, Jerick McKinnon, who for the past 2 years been going against season-ending injury after injury, who's going to carry the load for the Niners. I don't see them passing the ball much with the receivers injured. There's no Kittle. There's no Deebo Samuel. Jordan Reed is their bright spot on offense in the passing game. I still see them running against a Giants defense who they have been losing, but their defense is very stout. The defense is pretty solid up front. I really can't take that away from them. Offensively, the Giants, you don't have Saquon. You're one of the top 3 running backs right now in the NFL, gone for the season. It's very interesting to see how the Giants are going to respond to that. I do like Joe Judge, the culture that he's putting into the Giants. It's just I think that the Niners are going to slip out of this one. Maybe not by the spread of 4.5. I could see them winning by 3 in this game. Just due to, like I said, is due to the injuries on both sides of the ball for the Niners, and going with Nick Mullins at quarterback against a good Giants defense. Football's played on both sides of the ball, so I can't knock that. Maybe going a more favorable option. You got the Washington football team, right? The Washington football team against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 1 touchdown, 7-point favorite with the 44-point over-under. First and foremost, got to highlight Washington, give credit when it's due. Over 2 weeks, they have amounted up to 11 sacks and 3 interceptions. 11 sacks and 3 interceptions and 2 losses, which... Well, excuse me, 1 loss because they did beat the Eagles, which I didn't see that happening, but that was a game, week 1, that I faded because certain things, you like to just watch in peace. Certain games you want to watch in peace. I wish I would have had that same mentality with the Vikings game, but we haven't got there yet, okay? Right now, Browns got everything good going for them. I mean, it seems like they're a team that wants to utilize that run game. I mean, Nick Chubb, 184 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 158 yards, 1 touchdown. You got a big 1-2 combo out the backfield with those two great running backs. In the future, of course you want to see OBJ, you want to see Jarvis Landry get involved more into the game, but it's tough when you have Baker Mayfield, who to me it seems like in a lot of sets and times when it's passing, he's not seeing the field like he should. He's not making the right reads, and I don't see that getting any better against the Washington team that has amounted 11 sacks over 2 weeks with 3 interceptions. I definitely see them being able to run the ball, which you've seen the Eagles were able to do, and even you look at that Arizona game, they're able to do much of the same thing. I don't see that changing. I definitely, it's hard for me to go in on the Browns, but I definitely think the Browns will cover that spread. They'll win by 7 by a touchdown for sure. I believe they'll cover that spread. Haskin has been sacked 7 times over these past 2 weeks. So defensively, I think another reason I think the Browns are very strong in that area. You look around with Myles Garrett and all those pieces. Moving on to the other side, to the Cincinnati side of Ohio, you got the Cincinnati Bengals playing at Philadelphia Eagles. And in this game, the Eagles are favored by 6 points. Another lower score total with 46.5 points. I mean, right now, Joe Burrow, he's that guy. That guy is a baller, okay? Something I definitely did not see coming. Especially Joe Burrow. I know he's the first pick of the draft, but I didn't see him producing in the way they have. Of course, they've lost, both games, but these games that they're losing, he's been producing. Their defense has suffered a lot of injuries. They don't have Trey Waynes. It's tough. It's tough for the Bengals. But again, they face an Eagles team who is banged up on offense. Carson Wentz doesn't look promising this year. Every year everyone's high on the Eagles. They just seem like the Cowboys. On paper they look great, but the Eagles are injury prone. And right now, you got Miles Sanders back, who looked great the other day. 95 yards rushing, a touchdown. And with the Bengals defense being the way it is, I see that game being a run dominant game on the Philadelphia side. I think Miles Sanders is a good play as far as fantasy goes. I'm not on Carson Wentz. On the other side of it though, they do get Geno Atkins back. They get Mike Daniels back. On their D-line, they're gonna return. So I think things look better for the Bengals. They are gonna win some games this season. Again, this is a pick where I feel like I like Philly, but being how Philly is, I think I'm more leaning towards the Bengals on this one. I'm not sure how I'm gonna play that one. I may fade this one entirely for this week, but I do like the Bengals in this game, taking a win over the Eagles. Just for a score, I see them winning by 3. I see the Bengals, they win that game, they win by 3, or they go up by 10. In football, that's a lot. It's and this be Joe Burrow's first victory. The kid does not want to lose. He's a clear baller. You see the production with him and AJ Green. And you got Joe Mixon off the new contract. They want to play. They're gonna win some games. So I'm looking forward to that one myself. Oakland Raiders going to the New England Patriots, and the Patriots are a heavy favored, over 6.5 points. The implied total is 47.5. You got Josh Jacobs, who has 181 yards, 3 TDs. He didn't get one last night. They're playing the Saints. A very good defense overall. Derek Carr had a throw, which right now he's throwing 73% pass completions. Okay, with 4 TDs, no interceptions. This is Derek Carr we're talking about, and we're looking at a Derek Carr with a Josh Jacobs who's healthy. he plays the rest of the season, I see them doing very good. It opens up a lot for your offense. Darren Waller had an amazing day, and then you continue to work in Ruggs and those other pieces on offense. They're gonna win. Only concern I have with the Raiders is Abrams. He crashed into that into the cart, man. This is like what's so crazy about NFL, like these injuries, man. Another injury, right? And he's getting his shoulder looked at, so that's something I would want to monitor. But again, you're going against the New England Patriots. You're going against a Belichick. You're not just going against Cam. You're going against Belichick. And up to this point, Cam Newton has what? 4 touchdowns on 122 rushing yards. He's thrown for a touchdown. He has 552 passing yards. He's completing over 70% of his passes. Okay? Like, come on now. Edelman's got 18 catches on the year with 236 yards. No touchdown. Okay? No touchdown. They just come off this tough loss against the Seahawks, potential Super Bowl team, right? Potential Super Bowl team with Russ Wilson, right? And it's definitely a must-win game for the New England, not just because they just took a loss, but it's a system you're going against. Belichick knows what he's doing with the players. You see Cam Newton, shining, and even more than that, prayers up for Josh White and his family going with that, because you see how the team responds and they still there, and you like to see that because it shows that it's not just about playing football. It's about the brotherhood, family, and still working towards that common goal. I definitely think the New England will cover that spread, 6.5. That's definitely my pick for that game. I like Cam Newton in that game, Edelman. Those are all great picks, I think. And even if you look at the Pats defense, over the year they have 3 sacks with 4 interceptions. So they're definitely being able to make, create the havoc, cause turnovers, and they're playing at home. And you know what that is. When you're playing at home, you feel comfortable. The vibes are good. You don't have to travel. So it's another spot where I definitely like the New England Patriots there. So let's keep it going. So we got the Chicago Bears going to Atlanta Falcons, which the Falcons are a 3.5 point favorite. A little bit higher total, 47.5 points. Obviously the Falcons come off of they're 0-2. They come off a loss to the Seahawks, Super Bowl team, and they come off a tough loss against the Cowboys, a game that they should have won. By the way, they should have won that game. And it's tough. It's very tough for the Falcons right now because Matty Ice, he's only thrown for 722 yards. Okay, has 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's only completing 67% of his passes, but those majority have gone to Calvin Ridley, who has 16 catches, over 239 yards with 4 touchdowns. Okay, and then you got this guy, Russell Gage, getting into the game. It's like, where's Julio? Where is Julio? Where's the Julio sighting? I think that the Falcons, once they get that run game established with Gurley, I think that will open up a lot of things, make it easier because they can score. As you can see, they scored a lot against the Cowboys. They were dominant defensively. They had miscues, especially on special teams, which ultimately that caused them the game, right? I know. Imagine the Falcons done does it again, right? On the other side of it, you got the Bears. Mitch Trubisky. I can't say that I'm buying into the Trubisky hype, but I can say Mitch Trubisky is doing what it needs to actually win. That's backed by the Bears defense. You got Khalil Mack, other side. Then the Bears defense is very, very stingy. They're not going to really give you anything on that side of the ball. They're not going to give you anything on that side of the ball. I really like them in that spot, but I do think this will be the Falcons' first dub at home. I think they win by at least 2 points. That's me. That's what I say. I think they definitely win by 2 points in that game. I don't think they'll cover that spread, but I definitely think they'll win. They'll win just because it's Matty Ice and 0-3. The Falcons going 0-3. That's very tough. I think they definitely are due for a bounce back there. Moving on, and this is probably one of my favorite matchups this week going into it because you have the Los Angeles Rams going to the Buffalo Bills with streaking hot Josh Allen. Okay, like Josh Allen, who would have thought in Week 3 of the NFL the best producing quarterback right now is Josh Allen. He's completed over 70% of his passes. This man's got 729 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns. Come on now. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. He's going crazy. Diggs out there looking like the great Diggs that he is, Stephon Diggs that he is. 16 catches, 239 yards, 1 touchdown. You got Josh Allen truck sticking people, running them over. You know, Bills defense, 6 sacks, 1 interception. It's like, what can go wrong? But let's look at it. Josh Allen was able to have, I guess, what you could say, preseason games. He went against what? The Dolphins, who really don't have that good of a defense, you know? So he wasn't going against a great defense. The Rams looks like that first stop for him to see how Josh Allen's response to that. And with Stephon Diggs on the other side, you're going to have Jalen Ramsey, I would expect, covering him throughout that game. So this, to me, I feel like it's 50-50. The Bills being at home and just going off of the consistency. I like Josh Allen in that spot. On the other side, you got Jared Goff, which the Rams, you know, they have a couple injuries in the backfield. Cam Akers, you know, bruised some cartilage in his rib. Malcolm Brown has a pinky injury, which he's going to expect to play through. That does open up the doors for, you know, Henderson, who is that change of pace, which fantasy, you know, if he's on your waiver wire or even low owned for DraftKings or FanDuel, I definitely look at rostering him. Just look at rostering him because, again, you're going against the Bills, who seem pretty stout. You're playing away. It's gonna be different. But I do like the Bills in that matchup. And I do believe that they win that game, they'll definitely cover that spread. But again, that could change when it gets close to this weekend. But we'll see about that. Next matchup, you know what it is: the Houston Texans going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers are only a 3.5 point favorite. At 45 implied total, and you got the Texans. They're 0-2. Like they're another team where it's hard to get the offense going. Defensively, they haven't been strong. They've been letting teams pretty much run whatever they want to on them. They haven't really been stopping it. Deshaun Watson, you see that he's struggling right now. You know, without D-Hop, like obviously it's D-Hop. You know, DeAndre Hopkins, he's struggling right there. You know, Duke Johnson's banged up. They're not moving the ball. They're not rushing the ball effectively. He needs help. You know, you see that. You know, D Watts is second highest paid quarterback, and right now he's not producing. I think it's a system thing. I really just Bill O'Brien. He's got to get out there. You got to do something better. And then on the other side you got the Steelers, who they got Ben back. You got this guy Juju, 14 catches, 117 yards, 2 TDs, and then the big dog, which crazy, right? Just said Juju, the big dog, Deontay Johnson, 14 catches, 149 yards, 1 TD, which looks like is Big Ben's more favorite target of the season. You know, Steelers defense, 10 sacks, 3 interceptions. It's the Steel defense, black and yellow all day. That's my pick for that game. I like the Steelers and what they're doing. Next matchup, we got the Tennessee Titans going to the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, the Titans. You got Tannehill, who's been balling this week. You know, Derrick Henry, 200 yards rushing. He's looking good, man. He's looking good this year. Obviously Minnesota, they're missing Anthony Barr. Their defense is looking terrible, as you've seen what the Colts were able to do. And what what the Bears are able to do is, excuse me, not the Bears. So what the Packers are able to do, what the Colts are able to do. I see much of the same thing with the Titans. I see them being able to move the ball effectively. This is a game, though, I feel like could possibly be a bounce back. Who am I kidding? This ain't no bounce back. I like the Titans here in this matchup. Let me see. We got the Carolina Panthers going to the Los Angeles Chargers, who are a 6.5 favorite in that matchup with a 44-point over/under implied total. And this is a situation where you gotta look like, yo, you have Herbert, rookie quarterback, starting, and it's crazy how they do this because he started because they said Ty God was having difficulties with, I guess, whatever shot they gave him for his injury. And it's funny because you always see this, especially when it gets to seasoned players. I would say, they'll be like, "Hey, you got this injury. We're gonna let the kids start." And then don't be surprised when you see next week in practice, it's like, "Hey, take a couple reps off. We're gonna, it's okay. Let the kid get a couple more plays." And in this week coming game day, don't be surprised to see him starting for the remainder of the season. Because look at what Herbert did to the Super Bowl champions, okay, and pushed it to overtime. To me, that surprised me. I can't say that I'm all in on the Los Angeles Chargers. On the other side, you got the Panthers, who don't have Christian McCaffrey, but they have Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson going crazy, 15 catches, 272 yards, 1 touchdown. Teddy B getting comfortable in that offense. I like to see what he's doing there. This is not a game I can say easily right off to the Chargers. Right now, I like the Panthers. I see them covering that spread. And in this game overall, I like the Panthers. In that matchup, going to the New York Jets, going to Indianapolis, playing the Colts. Right now, the Colts are 11-point favorite with an implied total of 44 points. The Jets aren't good defensively. You've seen what teams are able to do. You see what the Niners are able to do against them. The only one positive I can say about the Jets defense, they do have 6 sacks and they have 1 interception. But the Jets is another team who's banged up. They don't have Le'Veon. They don't have Jamison Crowder. You took injuries against the 49ers this past weekend. It's not looking good for them. On the other side, you got Phillip Rivers, 75% passing on 577 yards, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions. That may be a spot where the Jets can capitalize on that and get a takeaway here and there. But then, you look at his pieces that they have. The Colts are 7 sacks, 3 interceptions. So they definitely know how to get after the quarterback. You've seen what they were doing to Kirk Cousins. They're definitely able to create some mismatches defensively. I do like the Colts in that game. I believe they'll cover the spread. As far as a lock of the week, that's definitely one of my locks of the week. I like the Colts in that game. I like to see Phillip Rivers connect more, with Jonathan Taylor, Ty Hilton, especially with Paris Campbell being out. They are missing Malik Hooker. He's out for the season too. That's tough, but I like the Colts in that matchup. It's a good spot for them. Moving on, we have the Dallas Cowboys playing the Seattle Seahawks. Highest implied total of 55 points. The Seahawks are a 5-point favorite because, you got Russ, the God, okay? 82% pass completion, man. 610 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. Whew. That man is on fire. Hey, he got something with him this year. I like the Seahawks, how they came out this year entirely. Like, they're not... They kind of went away from the run game. They've been passing it over, 65% of the time. Ty Lockett, 159 yards, 15 catches already, 1 touchdown. Russell's throwing it to Chris Carson, the running back, 9 catches, 81 yards, 3 touchdowns coming out the backfield. DK Metcalf taking off the top 8 catches, 187 yards, 2 TDs. Mind you, they just played the New England Patriots, okay? And 5 touchdowns for Russ, man, in one game? Come on now. He's balling. Balling, yo. The Seahawks do have an injury, Bruce Irvin's out for the season, but Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner, those guys up front, it's gonna be tough, especially the Cowboys, who you don't know if they're gonna have Tyron Smith, who was out Sunday, neck injury. I'm not sure how they're handling Amari Cooper. I've been hearing they have him like on a snap count. They've been because his hamstring, and I don't know, in that game versus Atlanta. I don't want to say he looked slow, but it looked like something, it looked like, something was off, because although he has 16 catches for 181 yards, you got Zeke 185 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Me personally, I like to see, them get Zeke involved more, and not even just the game, but just him getting the ball. Like, feed me. Like, literally, he put it on himself because he wants y'all to know, feed me. Like, don't forget, Dak Prescott had a hell of a game. He went crazy. But again, they're going against the Seahawks. Great defense, great team. And the Cowboys is just one of those teams. I just feel like they look good on paper, but when it comes to game time, it's like they'll find new ways to make you say wow. Yeah, that's the best way I can put it. Make you say wow. All right. So I do like the Seahawks. I do believe they'll cover that spread. They'll go 3-0 in the year for sure. I like that. I definitely see them as being one of my locks of the week right there. Hometown team, the Detroit Lions going against the Arizona Cardinals, man. And if y'all haven't been watching the Cardinals, y'all need to. Right now, they got one of the highest powered offenses, dude, running no huddle. Kyler Murray got 158 yards running as a quarterback with 3 touchdowns, man. I mean, he's got 516 yards in the air with 2 touchdowns. D-Hop right now is probably the best receiver in NFL football. He's highest used at 22 catches, 189 yards with a touchdown. This year, the Arizona Cardinals looks completely different. And the one thing I think was making them really good is their defense. Chandler Jones going crazy. You got Buda Baker going crazy. They got Isaiah Simmons over there. It creates tough matchup problems, especially when you're going against, you're at home and you're playing Detroit Lions. And it really irks me in the heart because it's hometown team, Lions fan, and you watch it. You watch it year after year. You see the Lions, they have so much promise, and yet somehow, when it comes to the end of the game and that final score, the Lions down. And it's like, the team name is the Lions. You're supposed to be the king of the jungle, okay? But we be playing like we young Simba, okay? Not grown Simba that's going to take back the jungle. We playing like young Simba that don't know nothing, okay? And it may be time for Matt Patricia. Might be seeing a door exit soon. I mean, I don't know. But Arizona Cardinals, I like them in that spot. Lions do get Kenny Galladay back, which is a plus. Lions do have a decent run game. But it's another one of those matchups. Like, defensively, we're injured. Okuda isn't healthy. We gave away Darius Slay to, Philadelphia. Matt Patricia's defense definitely a suspect, as you can see. For week 1, we gave up 25 points. Week 2, Aaron go crazy. We couldn't stop the run. Aaron Jones had a career day, most yards in his career against the Lions. We couldn't stop Devontae Adams or anything Aaron was doing. And Kyler Murray right now, he's like one of the best, prolific scorers right now at the quarterback position. Like, you can't stop him. So that's the spot I like the Cardinals in. I think the Cardinals will cover the spread against the Lions. Moving on, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the Denver Broncos. The Buccaneers got right now, they have a favor, 6-point favorite, 43.5. It's Tom Brady coming off his first win as a Buccaneer. love to see it with Bruce Arians, man. I love to see it. Leonard Fournette had a great day. And again, they get to face a Broncos team who's right now their injuries plague their defense. Von Miller gone for the season. Not good, not good at all. Not especially when one of your best defensive players is gone for the season. They're without their quarterback Drew Lock, who suffered a shoulder injury playing against the Steelers. He's going to be gone for, I would say, at least a month. So he's definitely not going to be there. The Buccaneers defense is very good. They got 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. It's another spot where you're seeing Tom Brady have another week getting that chemistry with the offense. I like to see that, Gronkowski's used a little bit more. But I think down the stretch, I think Gronk is here just to be like that utility player when it comes down to it. It's Tom Brady learning a brand new offense. It's not like he took his Patriot offense. He's learning a new system. He's working with new players. They get Chris Godwin back. So I expect to see a lot of things trend upwards for the Buccaneers. I do believe they'll cover that spread as a 6-point favorite right now. I keep watching that. Now we're going to the nice juicy part, Sunday Night Football, baby, where you got the Green Bay Packers going to the New Orleans Saints, who are a 3-point favorite after coming off of a loss to the Las Vegas Raiders. Probably has the second highest total, 52 points. Scored that game. And, first and foremost, this news on Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas needs to get cleared by a Green Bay doctor to know if he's going to be cleared to play in that Sunday night game. I know, right? I know, right? You got A.A. Ron going crazy. Aaron Jones got, 234 yards rushing on the season, man, with 3 touchdowns. You got Devontae Adams, 17 catches, 192 yards, who has an injury. That's something that I would want to monitor going forward, But overall, Aaron Rodgers is hot. Drew Brees doesn't look very Drew Brees, but he is back home. If you know anything about Drew Brees, he's definitely get an attribute boost playing from home. He gets some type of slider, he gets some type of something, This is a game where I would want to just watch in peace. I do like to see the Packers win that game. It is very hard for me to go against Drew Brees playing at home, but I do think the Packers do have a chance. Monitoring Michael Thomas not playing. If he doesn't play, I like the Packers more. Let's go to our final game, which I would say is AFC Championship game for this year. You got the Kansas City Chiefs going to Baltimore Ravens. In this game, the Ravens are favored, 3-point favorites in this game. 53.5 points being scored in this game. Right now, you got the Chiefs. They won in overtime against the Los Angeles Chargers against a rookie quarterback. Not to say that this is a panic situation, but it is something where you gotta look at and say, whoa, what is going on? They let a rookie torch him. Lamar Jackson right now is balling. He's doing very well. He's getting the ball to his playmakers. You got Hollywood Brown going crazy. 10 catches, 143 yards, no touchdown. But he is good, right now. The Ravens have a great defense. You've seen what they're able to do. They're stingy out there. They're able to take turnovers, take away a lot from what offenses have been trying to do against them. But again, you've seen this against Baker Mayfield, a Browns team, and then you've seen this against a struggling Texans team. So this is a spot where they get to go against it's the fastest team in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. You seeing the highest paid quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, and it's gonna be. I think that right there is gonna be a testament to Baltimore, and where they at right now in the season. Somebody does have to lose in this game. I do think Baltimore does pull this out in the victory. They definitely get the dub on that. It's very hard. It's very hard to go against that, but I know Patrick Mahomes. So that is the week 3 slate breakdown. Thank you. One thing I did not give you yet was my locks of the week. I have the New England Patriots playing the Raiders. That's my lock of the week, and the Colts at the Jets is my other lock of the week. Those are two teams I'm definitely gonna be putting in my parlays. So yeah, putting in my parlays. Thank you for tuning into this edition, Week 3 NFL of the Ramen House. I hope you enjoyed. I'm your host, Panda SSWY. Hope y'all have a great day and a great weekend to y'all this week. Thank you.